Hi guys, Dan here, DD Speed Shop. So I've had, I love these damn TRI-FIVE Chevys, and I've had people asking a pile of questions about them. I've answered some questions, I guess, throughout the videos, and people keep asking in the comments and sending emails, stuff like that. And I'm a TRI-FIVE guy. I love these things. I want to keep them on the road as long as possible, and it's my duty to make a video, I think, explaining everything about these things or whatever. As much as I kind of know, I know a lot, not saying I know everything, so if I'm wrong, man, correct me in the comments. I love that stuff. Oh yeah, they'll will. I'm gonna miss one thing. That's the wrong screw. But so I wanted to go over, we just happen to have all 3 years in the driveway, which I'm sure a lot of people do this day and age. But the first question people always ask, why is it called a TRI-FIVE? I get that a shockingly amount of time, and it's very simple. 55, 56, and 57 Chevys, TRI-FIVE. There you go. Doesn't matter if it's a base model, a 4-door, a hard top, it's TRI-FIVE Chevy. And yeah, just kind of easy to say them that way. Now, there are the 3 years, the 55, 6, 7. I think the easiest way to tell them apart at a glance or whatever it is, we'll go over all the kind of things here. But for the rookie, the easiest thing is tail lights. The 55 has a small tail light. It kind of curves in. Your hand fits over it. The other thing the 55 has, and the other ones do not, hand size, it's got a side fill for gas. The 6s and 7s don't have that. Now the reason these TRI-FIVEs look so similar is, in all reality, they're about the doors, the quarter sections, the roof are all the same on them. They just kind of did a little bit of trim and bumpers and kind of stuff like that to change them. So you can easily get them kind of confused. Now the 56, my 55 is my favorite look. The tail lights and everything. The 56 I think has a really cool custom kind of look. They're real big. They're kind of torpedo-y and stuff like that. The first year that the gas gets filled behind the light, which is pretty cool. I gotta say, I do like. This is my favorite kind of gas filler of the years. The 57. The 57 has a bunch of things. This is the easiest one to tell out of a lineup in my mind. They have the fins. They have the taillights down low. I don't like these taillights. I think they are too low. They're very dim. They're kind of lame. They're boring. They're very boring. They are what they are. And it has the fuel filled behind the trim as opposed to behind the light, which is actually kind of cool. I don't know. So that's the easy way to kind of tell them apart. Now, a 57 Chevy, they are different. A 55 and a 56 share a lot of things, whereas a 57 is on its own. So obviously, the fins is very distinctive. Around front, they have a very distinctive front end. Now again, all these cars are the same from kind of here to about here. Now 57s have the cool bumpers, whatever those things, Dagmar kind of style bumper. They have the grill bar. They have a bunch of stuff like that, and they have these 2 spears, right? So they are unique. They have all that stuff. So that's the 57 Chevy. Also, if you ever buy a car show shirt, odds are there's a 57 Chevy on it. So that's the easiest way to tell a 57 on its own. Now, when it comes to the 55 and 6, if you can't kind of get to the taillights, whatever it may be, the front ends are a little bit different. Again, the 55 is just my personal favorite look. We're gonna put some miles on in a short amount of time with the Wagon here, eh? Now this is a glass front end, a one-piece front end, but they're very simple front end. They have rounded fender caps, and then the lights are separated, and they just kind of have a little grill. What I like about this, to be honest with you, it reminds me of like an old kind of bumper car. It looks like a shark. Sure. So that's like very simple with those. Now this one, it doesn't have they would have a peak and they'd have a bird on them if it was like a real 55, but this is, again, fiberglass junk. 56, they're separate. They have a lot of chrome in the front. They have a bigger bumper. You couldn't have moved the plow? We might need it. Fun fact, plows for a Chevy truck fit on TRI-FIVEs as well. So they're a lot more squared up in the fenders. They have a lot more chrome in here. They have square marker lights, and the grille is very complicated on a 56. 55 is actually just a piece of, or a 57, sorry, is just a piece of like stamped metal. It's very, very simple. So that is kind of the quick and easy ways at a glance to figure out what's what. Now, these things can all be kind of converted into almost any year you want. The 57 does have a different cowling, which makes it a little bit difficult, but that's irrelevant. So now you know you got a 5, 6, 7, what they are. Now there's three, for the most part, three different levels of trim. There's the base model 150, the mid-level 210, and the Bel Air. Now, wouldn't you know, we have all of those. So the 150 would be the 55. Now the easiest way to tell a 150 or a base model, it's not going to have any trim around the window. Now there is some trim. This thing's had all the trim ripped right off of it because this is obviously a 2-lane blacktop style car, which had nothing on it. So the easiest way to tell, it's going to have no trim around the windows. That's the base model. The 56 happens to be a 210. Now, a 210 being the base model trim, it's actually my favorite trim of all the years and all, is the 56. It's got a belt line trim that runs the whole way, and it's just simple, kind of two-tone. The Bel Air would have a spear and stuff like that. The 210 and the Bel Air share chrome around the window, so that's the same on both cars. The real easy way to tell 210 is got kind of smaller trim around the windows and stuff like that, which does become kind of bigger on the Bel Air. So if we go to Danny's car. Now this car's missing a little bit of trim because it's kind of, again, a 4-door, 2-door conversion. We've been, as the bank account allows. So this is proper Bel Air trim. So it's kind of thick, it goes all the way around the windows. It shares the same style trim as the 210 models, and that's all 3 years. On a 57 is a little bit different. The 150 is a very base trim. It only has kind of one spear on the quarter. The 210, so the mid-range, would have the top and bottom trim, but this would be body color, and the Bel Air has this nice kind of machine thing that says Bel Air on it, and it's got the full trim on the fins, where a 150 has short ones, and I believe a 210 has short ones as well. So again, if you have this full piece, it says Bel Air on it, you know it's Bel Air. The 57s are super easy to tell. So that's kind of that. Now, the 57 is unique in a lot of ways, so I'll show you a few things. Its dashboard and assembly and gauges, that's only in 57s. Now, this one's got all the trim ripped off. It should have some nice trim running across and all those sort of things, but that's your 57 Chevy. There you go. Now under the hood, they have a different cowling as well. What's happening, neighbors? Are you filming? We are. You're in the show. See you later. So now 57s, you'll notice, because we'll pop the hood on the 6 or something like that, they have a different cowling, so the way the fenders are attached are a little bit differently. They have a slightly different roof line, different window. So I said in previous videos, the 57 has a different window. They're slightly taller, so you can't put a 5 or 6 glass in a 57. Remember that, because I didn't know that. And trying to put a 57 Chevy glass in a 55 or a 56, you can waste a lot of time. So that's that.
I believe 2 days was the amount of time.
No, it didn't take that long. I did that, then I had to buy another piece of glass, and I broke the glass, and I had to buy another one. Now the 56 and the 57s, they share the dashboards. So they have the double hump, which are the same on a 5 and a 6. And again, depending what trim you have, it'll, you know, this is very plain Jane. You know, you can put trim across there and stuff. The 55 actually does have trim. The 55 actually has 56 trim on it. So you can see the trim that runs across. Now this car was actually originally a Bel Air that I made look like a 150. And I've been looking for it, I don't have it, but 55 Bel Air trim is, instead of having those slots, it's just a bunch of little Chevy bow ties, which is super cool. That's what I love about these Chevys, right? So there you go, that's kind of the three, or the interiors and whatnot. Now, 55 was unique in a lot of ways. And again, this is my favorite, but 55 is their own unique rocker. So you can see that it's curved versus 56 and 57 are identical. They're just kind of square. They have a bit of angle to them, but they're nothing too serious there. So you can dress 5 and 6 are very easy to make look like whatever. So you can put a 56 front clip on a 50 or 55 on a 56 or 56 on a 55 front clip, no problem. You're not going to notice it in the doors. You're not going to notice it in the cowl. You're going to notice it in the rockers. So if you're doing a front clip, the proper way of doing it is changing the rockers as well, which a lot of guys do. It's very common because 56s, they're not as desirable. They are a little bit harder to find parts for, as I've discovered now. A lot of times the trim and all that stuff, they don't actually make new. It's redone or repolished kind of stuff like that, old stuff. So it's a little harder to find. So guys have done that all the time. You take a 56, you put 55 rockers on it, a 55 front clip, and then you can put 55 quarters in it. So I mean, basically, tail lights, and go from there. Now, a proper 55, again, because I have this one kind of radius, it would have a more squared off as well wheel well, which is a 55 thing only. 6 and 7 are very similar. If you see, they have kind of a swept kind of teardrop look or whatever, which honestly makes a world of difference, because if you try to get a big tire under a 55, it is a nightmare. Trust me. So that's that. I mean, all the bumpers are different. They're all kind of unique year to year, obviously, to match different things like that. Wagons have a few special things as well. I want to go over a couple of things. So this is a 4-door, I think it's called a Townsman. I'm not really too sure. There was one more up which had the back seats that you could look out backwards, right? Now, they made 4-door wagons, they made 2-door wagons, they made 2-door sedan deliveries, and they made Nomads. Now, a 2-door sedan would be the exact same, just the door would be back here. It would be the same doors on that, so they're 6 inches longer. You'd then have glass and stuff the way back, or if it was a sedan delivery, it'd be the same thing. Now, a lot of people get confused and they think a 2-door wagon is a Nomad. It isn't. I don't care, but just a lot of people freak out about it. Now, I don't have a Nomad yet. One of these days, when you open the door, I mean, a sedan has a back post, right? Whereas a hardtop is all glass. Just a Nomad is a hardtop. So it has no metal around here, it's just the glass. And then the car itself has kind of a goofy shape where the glass would fit up against, like any sort of Chevelle or whatever it is hardtop. So that's the easiest way to tell a Nomad away from a regular sedan delivery, or a 2-door. The gate, same thing. This has got like a 2-piece gate, which I mean the passenger cars kind of did. The sedan delivery would have a 1-piece, I believe, that would open up the whole way. Now I don't know if you could get different options in the glass and all those things. I just don't know. Wagons have their own unique bumpers. Now again, we don't have another 50s. Well, yeah. So they are their own thing. Where they have this flat piece for the license plate. Typically, on regular sedan, they're bolted right to the deck lid. So this one and the 55 are the same thing. The license plate is bolted to the deck lid and has the light. This isn't the factory one, obviously. That's the old Princess Auto Special, and it just shines up. And the 55 is the same thing. Just bolt on the deck lid, and it's got 2 lights and the little bumperettes. So that's kind of it, I think. I mean, the big thing with these TRI-FIVEs and why I love them and why they can be 4-door or 2-door, there's a lot of other cars that can be done like that. TRI-FIVEs, I think, well, I've done them a few times, they are the easiest. The 2-doors and 4-doors, they share the quarter windows, they share the doors, they share all that stuff. So it doesn't matter, like this door in Danny's car will split, no problem. Danny's car is actually off a Pontiac, Canadian Pontiacs. We're very much the same. So you can do all those things. Hardtop doors are slightly different. We don't have a hardtop here, so we can't go over that. I think the 56, the keyhole is in a different spot, a little lower or something like that, just because of the trim. A hardtop is actually a shorter car. They're 1 inch or so, or 1.5 inches shorter, so they look kind of chopped. They do look very sleek and cool. We will have one day. Not today, but one day we will. And then they have the 4-door hardtops as well. They have their own unique set of stuff, the doors and all that sort of stuff. But it is what it is. The 4-door hardtops, I don't think they made them in 55. 56 they made them in 57. And 57, I believe they were all Bel Airs in 57. So that's kind of a quick rundown of this thing. Hopefully, again, this isn't all written in stone. This is just kind of what I've done and what I've learned, and I'm just throwing out there in 10 or 15 minutes. So hopefully it'll help somebody. If there's questions you guys have, leave it in the comments. If this is, if I did something wrong, especially let me know, because I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to be that guy. But there you go. Kind of Tri-5s, and how long is this video? 10 minutes, 15 minutes? Where are we at?
15:45.
15, there you go. Everything you need to know about a Tri-5 in 15 minutes. So hopefully it'll help you guys out down the road. 55, 57 again are the easiest to find parts for. 56 is unique. Keep that in mind. And 2-door stuff is easier to find than 4-door stuff in my experience. A lot of 4-door stuff is not made as much, and so you got to find it used. It's hard to find. So if you want something like this one, the 56 Ugly Duckling Year 4-door Wagon, the reason I wanted this one, it had all the trim. Oh, and Wagons have unique doors in the back. Little side note there. But when you're doing floor pans and all that sort of stuff, convertibles, hardtop sedans are all basically the exact same floor pan. The hardtops, convertibles has one extra little brace which you can add in yourself, no problem. They all go in the same way. The convertibles had an X-frame because obviously there's no roof on them. There's a few little tidbits like that. People get real crazy, and there's a couple different kinds of frames on these things. That's all stuff you guys are real hardcore on. Feel free to start Googling it. But this is just the basics. And I want to keep doing Tri-5 videos because I love them, and I want to stay around. Like I said, I want them staying around forever. But yeah, let me know. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.